Good morning, everybody. My name is Lynette and welcome to my garden. The fall weather has definitely arrived here in New York State and I'm going to take advantage of it as I'm going to relocate some of my wee white hydrangeas. So join me for some big moves here in my garden. If you've been following along, you know I have a love-hate relationship with these wee white hydrangeas. They are the perfect plant for here as far as their size. I love their size compared to my boxwood hedge. I love it when they get their big white flowers. It looks so pretty along here. But the problem is it's just too hot and too sunny for these plants right here. We have sandy soil. I think they may be drying out a little bit too much, and that's why I need to move them. I don't like the look of crispy white hydrangeas. Now what I've done is I've pulled my leaf mulch away. I'm just going all around the plant with my shovel, and I'm going to lift it up out of here. Now these have been planted, gosh, I'm going to say about 5 years now. They were little quart-sized plants when I got them, and they've done really well. I can grow hydrangeas. In fact, hydrangeas grow a little bit too well for me here. But there's a wee white that's ready for transplanting. Now realistically, I could go in and probably divide this and get at least 2 plants out of it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. So there's one, just about 4 more to go. When I mentioned that I can grow hydrangeas, I'm talking this type, like the Annabelles, Invincibles, or the wee whites. I have such sandy soil that they just run amok and spread like crazy, which is why I always give away a lot of Annabelle hydrangeas every year. I have people come and dig them out. This wee white seems to be behaving very similar to the Annabelles. Now I'm not going to take these hydrangeas that way out right now, because if you remember, there is a huge hornet's nest right here in this hedge, and I don't think I want to get anywhere near that. So this is as close as I dare go, and I really don't want to get much on that other side just in case. And it looks like this plant's going to break into a couple pieces unless I get over here. So let's pray that this is not one of those really funny, ha-ha, look at what that person did with the bee's nest kind of video. And in case any of you are wondering, I don't have any rocks in my soil. We are all on sand. I'm very close to what's known as the sand plains. And there's another one. That one could definitely be divided. But what's nice is I'm shaking off all the soil, so I don't need to come back in here and add any additional soil. And remember how I said that they spread, they're too happy? That's a whole nother plant that's just crept underground, and I could dig that out, but getting a little too close to the bees. This is the second part of our project. We've got the Annabelles dug up. Now we've got to dig up these yellow arborvitaes. Hi, Maple. Hi. Yes, hi. So the yellow shrubs need to be dug out. I put a post on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody's coming today around 3 o'clock to hopefully dig them out. And then I'm going to put the hydrangeas right back in the holes where these shrubs are coming out. Now, originally I put these shrubs here because I wanted winter interest. I was hoping this evergreen yellow and this would form a big ring around this fringe tree and it would look nice in the winter time, years down the road, you know, probably several years from now. But I think the hydrangeas will, number one, do better here. And I think if they are happy, I can leave their heads up and I will still get some winter interest, even though it won't be an evergreen plant, or in this case, an ever yellow plant. But that's the plan. So what I have to do is wait for that person to come. She's supposed to be here around 3 o'clock. It's around 1 o'clock now. They'll dig those out and then I'll just put the hydrangeas right in here. Well, I know that I mentioned that somebody was supposed to be here at 3 o'clock to dig these up. And here it is, 4 o'clock, and they're not here. So I got stood up from somebody on Facebook. I've had really bad luck with Facebook lately. Must be I'm just attracting all the crazies, because I click on posts that I'm interested at and they're fraudulent. It's so annoying. You know, these things are supposed to be helpful, and they really can be. You know, I like giving my plants away. I like buying used things on Marketplace. I don't always have to have something brand new, but it's getting to the point where these dishonest people are just making it so difficult. And you know, it's not so much that they're dishonest, which that in itself is its own thing, but what frustrates me more is the amount of time that I lose because I trust people. You know, I could have had this project done at noon. Here it is, 4 o'clock, and I'm still working on this. Now, I am going to put these in water right away so that they don't dry out. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with them. We'll see. And I do have the hydrangeas soaking in water as well. But you see how easy it was to pull that out? You could have come here and got these for free. I mean, I'm 62 years old. If it takes me 5 minutes to do it, how hard can it be? I'm going to be planting these hydrangeas right in the same hole that I took the evergreen shrubs out of. So I've got my hole dug. We're going to drop our plant in there. The roots are very well hydrated because they were soaking in water. I also put a whole bunch of water in this hole to let the soil around the plant soak up some water since it's still been dry. We are getting better, but it's still awful dry here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to backfill with this composted cow manure. And the reason I'm going to do that is because my soil is so sandy. It's really not the best soil. It's great for digging, but it's not the best nutrient value. So anytime I get a chance to amend my soil, I like to take that opportunity and give the plants a good, healthy start. I want to make sure these roots are going to be covered, so I'm going to tuck them down into the hole a little bit. And then I'm just going to take my compost and kind of dump it around the top. Tuck that all in, making sure that the crown of the plant is a little high, because I do come in with some mulch later. And then I'm going to come in and step this all down so that there's no air pockets in there. But I'm going to do that at the end because I want to put on different shoes. I don't want to get my sneakers all dirty. I've got my boots on, so now I'm just going to go around and stomp these down to knock out any air pockets and make sure those roots get in good contact with the soil. Now, I'm not worried about the hydrangeas growing. I can grow hydrangeas, and I bet in my area, because they grow so well, I could probably just lay these on top of the soil and they would root. But I still want to give them a good fighting chance. And you may notice that there are daylilies here, and they're going to get very big and may overtake the hydrangeas. I'm not going to dig them out now. This might be a spring project. Maybe I'll get to it later in the fall, but for right now I just want to get these hydrangeas put in place. And sorry, my allergies are acting up, so please excuse my sniffing. But how would you like to hear the rest of the story? You know how your mom always says, if you can't say something nice, don't say something at all? Well, I should have listened to you, Ma, because here I was complaining about being taken advantage on Facebook, that this person didn't show up, wasted my day. Here it is, 6 o'clock, and I'm just finishing this project that I could have got done earlier. Well, she called me around 5 o'clock saying, we're just up the road. Can we come now? And I gotta be honest, I'm a little annoyed because I don't know the rest of the story, obviously, and I jumped to conclusions. So I say, yes, if you can be here in 15 minutes, they're yours. And they show up about 15 minutes later in a nice black truck, and out jumps a man who's between the ages of 85 and 300. And then sitting in the front seat is his wife, who's got to be about the same age, and she's wrapped up in white blankets like an Eskimo, and she's got a little dog sitting on her lap. And very apologetically, they explained to me that they couldn't get here sooner because she was supposed to go to dialysis. But she didn't end up going to dialysis because the dog got hurt and wasn't walking right. So they had to go all the way to Syracuse, which is about 25 miles, to the emergency vet clinic there, only to find out there's really nothing wrong with their dog. Thank goodness for that. Because I know from experience what it's like to have a dog do something on a weekend when there are no vets to be found. So let me give you a word of warning. Corn cobs are not good for dogs, and they can cause a severe blockage if you don't get them out. Ask me how I know. Anyway, they were the nicest, sweetest people, and obviously I had them all dug out for them already, which was good because I really don't want somebody that old trying to maneuver in my garden and pull plants out. But it just goes to show that if you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. And I can always be counted on to put my foot in my mouth and complain when I really shouldn't be. So we've got the hydrangeas planted. They're in the ground. I'll throw on some mulch later this season when I get my truckload of leaves. They'll be nicely mulched, and they should be happy there. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. I didn't get anywhere near as much done in the garden as I wanted to, but what I did do took me all day, and I'm calling it quits for the night. I want to go inside, have some dinner, put my feet up, watch TV, and just sit back and relax. Now, it's been a busy week here, and don't click off just yet because there's a little extra video footage coming of a big move that took place this week. Something that I've been very quiet on my channel about and I haven't mentioned to any of you. So just stick around for a few minutes more and watch the big move. And if you find this video interesting, please be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And get out in your garden and have some fun.